Here we go. You guys ready? I'm ready.
I'm
You ready?
ready. I'm
Are
ready.
you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Okay.
So how was your day today?
My day was great. I woke up.
You already started with an How far are we? 15 seconds. You already said an
But I woke up around like
It's not funny.
8ish and like had a good solid hour to myself before I had to wake up Jaquetta. And I had to wake her up because she wasn't gonna wake up by herself because she went to bed so late last night. So I woke her up because I was like, I can't let you sleep any later. Otherwise, bedtime will be ruined again because your naps will be off.
Right. Yeah. And
Um,
we're trying to do this here,
oh
and
yeah,
it's been a struggle.
it's been a struggle.
So we were
Um,
confident. We thought that we could, sneak away after she falls asleep, and
and we did.
we did today
Yeah,
once, and then didn't work, and then we had to wait a little bit.
yeah.
She woke back up, had a bubble, but
But
we're back.
we're back.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so I mean, the rest of the day was just doing chores and um spending time with our kid.
Yeah,
So
those are the things that you're
yeah,
supposed to do.
right.
I came home and you already had dinner going,
I try to
and
have dinner ready for you when you get home because I know you're probably
I
hungry
had
when
to
you get
pry it
home.
out of you what the hell it
I
was,
didn't
cause
want to tell you. I like surprising you with my
I was
food,
just I was just hungry.
especially because I made French onion soup for the first time, and that's why I didn't want to tell you because I made it for the first time, and I wasn't even going to try it, and I wanted it to be a surprise. And you're like, "Bitch, tell me what the fuck you made." You had like a gun pointed at my head.
Not
Tell
really.
me what you made. I'm hungry,
I'm not
asshole.
asking.
I'm no longer asking. No.
No, I was just hungry. I was like, you know what? I don't care what it is. I
I
know
just
I'm
want
gonna
it in my
love it.
mouth.
I know I'm gonna love it because I'm hungry,
Yeah, and it was really good.
and it was fantastic.
It was like half-assed French onion soup. It wasn't like real
It
French onion
wasn't
soup,
real
but it
French.
was so
Yeah,
delicious
you
still.
were like, it's not true French onion soup, and I'm like, this is true French onion soup to me because I've never had French onion soup
Eventually, I will make
with
true French
homemade
onion soup.
baguettes.
Yeah. Oh, I like. Yeah, I did make
Yeah,
homemade baguettes.
there you
I like
go.
making homemade bread because it tastes better, and also I know where it's coming from. I just,
Right. It's also you
I
control how dense it is. I
right.
love it when bread is a little more dense.
Relentless. I like fluffy bread.
I like both. It
For
depends on what
sandwich
you're
bread,
eating.
yeah. But like because I was consistently making bread a few months ago and then I just like lost my drive for it, you know? That seasonal depression sunk in.
Why the sun's out now? Come on.
The sun's half out. It snowed today and then it was
And
sunny.
then it's sunny. And then I
Yeah.
was walking around with a t-shirt. Yeah, welcome to bipolar fucking
Yeah.
weather.
Yep.
Oh,
How was your day?
well, kind of a boring day at work. It's very slow.
Yeah.
It's because you kind of what's going on. The economy's kind of catching up to us.
Mhm.
We're struggling with pulling in jobs, and
Right.
so we're trying. They're pulling jobs from the future, from in the future where it's supposed to be out further, and they're
Yeah.
trying to pull them in quicker, so we still have stuff to do, and we can meet our goals.
Mhm.
So I'm not going to disclose what I do, but our goal is to put out like with what we make in jobs about $2.6 million.
Wow.
I don't see any of it. It's just a company.
Yeah.
It's just what I do though.
Right.
But that's our like goal for the company is 2.6 million because our goal for the year is what is it 30 36.5
Mhm.
million. Yeah, and but the economy's kind of not helping in that sense, so people aren't buying as much.
Right.
But you know, work is work. I came home, but when I came home, you helped me out a lot by having food ready. I thank you a lot for that.
Yeah,
That
I
helped.
like I said
Oh, that
before,
helped.
I try to make sure I have food ready for you when you come home
Because
because I know how hard you
my
work.
diet at
You
work is
don't eat
terrible.
at work.
My diet at work is terrible.
And I'm
Uh,
home all day, so I
I
should
have
be able to make
coffee,
you food.
and I had those leftover grapes that needed to be eaten
Mm,
that were starting to get shriveled up, and nuts. That's all I had
right.
today.
Well, if our daughter showed more interest in grapes, they would be gone. But every time I try to give her grapes, she's just not interested
No,
in
I know.
them.
And they got shoved in the back of the fridge, so yeah.
Yeah, and then I forgot about them.
But I was able to get our really old attic all
Hmm.
cleaned up,
Which I thank
and
you for, and
oh
I'm
my
proud of
god,
you for
it
because
was
that must have been
still.
awful.
It, I'm glad I had to wear. I'm very happy. I had that respirator I have,
Yeah.
and I had new filters on because I didn't smell the attic at all because it's got that old wood
Yeah,
smell.
when I came up here to get her toys, I opened the basement door and I was like, oh my god, it just smells like attic up here now.
Oh, you open. Oh,
When I came up to get her toys. And
oh,
then,
because
because you were
the
like,
attic
hey, what
door
are you
was open.
doing? And I was like, I'm just getting her toys.
Oh, yeah.
Because she had like two stuffed animals
Yeah,
down there.
because it's all that smell was because of all the old cedar shakes that were
Yeah.
on the roof when we redid the roof, and because there was no layer, there's the main like board, the main layer of like what the cedar shakes were mounted to,
Mm-hmm.
and those were never taken off, and then the shingles were mounted right on top of those,
Oh.
and so we had to take the old shingles off and then take the cedar shakes off,
Mm-hmm.
and then you had just the wood. The attic was exposed completely,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember doing that, and we not almost done, but we had to completely put a tarp on the entire roof because a
Mm.
fucking giant thunderstorm came through, and
Oh.
I'm sitting there paranoid as shit. And I think I was like 14, so I'm like,
Okay.
I don't think those tarps are gonna hold, and those tarps go off. All this water is just gonna dump into the house.
Mm-hmm.
It would have caused so much water damage,
Damage. Yeah. Is
but
the
it.
house insured?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Okay. I figured so.
But, it didn't. It held. We
That's
were
good.
smart about those tarps because you give wind an inch and it'll take a mile.
Oh, yeah.
That's the thing about tarps. But, um, I got all that broken dust cedar shakes that fell into the attic. I got that all cleaned up,
Mm-hmm.
and, I had to wear a respirator because that attic hasn't been touched in years, so there was, like, just mice
Yeah.
droppings, there was stuff everywhere, and I got all cleaned up with a lot. I did a lot more than I thought I'd get to.
And it didn't take that long either.
And yeah, and I got some pieces of plywood, some OSB
Mm-hmm.
on to expand the attic a little bit more, so we can have more places for storage.
Which we used for our wedding, by the way. So they had more than one use.
Exactly, it didn't go
Because
to waste.
when we used them for the wedding, I took fabric that I got from like Walmart, and we just like stapled it around,
Yeah,
and we used them because we
as
got
like
married
a
in March, so it was super snowy, and we had a huge snowstorm the night before. So I was like, we need something to stand on. That way, we're not just standing in fucking snow for like what it was like an hour, not
yeah, it's about
even.
an hour. Yeah.
Um, and it's a good thing we still had those OSB boards because now
Oh,
we
I'm
can
not
use them
gonna
for
get
that.
rid of them.
Well, no, I figured we could use them for
Oh, yeah,
something.
absolutely. You can use
And they
those
were
things
cheap.
for
They were like $8
like
a
you couldn't
piece.
use them for a lot because the OSB that because when we redid that roof, we didn't just put shingles on it because we could. You had to. We actually put OSB, some ply, like new half-inch plywood around the entire bottom
Yeah.
section of the roof, and so that sealed it off better for one,
Hmm.
and then it's something more solid for the shingles to mount to. And
Yeah.
that's why the old shingles were falling off in to begin with because those cedar shakes were finally rotting,
Okay.
and so, but you know. Doing all that attic stuff, it reminded me about the whole ghost things we were talking about last time.
Yeah. With the specifically, you talked about your the girl you saw
Yeah.
and how then your dad took apart that window and her picture fell out of the trim.
Hmm.
Spooky.
Yeah, because I was like, well, I don't know how old I was. I might have been like 6 or 7,
Mm.
and we had this big closet on that door on that in that room. The whole wall was just a big like this like slide door,
Yeah.
two slide doors for a closet,
Mm.
big that like covered the whole wall. And I remember I got from my aunt's garage sale my cousin's old a night lamp, which was a Darth Vader head,
Of course.
right? I'm not even into stars that much.
It was a lamp.
It was
Lamp is
it
a
was
lamp.
and it was orange, but I
Okay.
liked it because it was nice. It was because it wasn't super bright. It's about as bright as this right here, but
Okay.
it's that wasn't super bright. Um, and I remember I had this cabinet, which is the cabinet downstairs right now.
That we use for the pantry?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
it's that cabinet. That cabinet.
I always
Um,
forget that used to be up here, and you and Alex brought it down for your mom.
yep. Um, so I had these polished rocks that I got from not Mackinac, but up north. I don't remember where. It was a
Hmm.
gift shop up north, right by the bridge.
Yeah.
Um, and I remember it was quiet, and because we didn't have anything going, it was quiet. There
Right.
was no fans, there was no nothing, there was no sounds. But I just heard this like,
Hmm.
and I did what any little kid did before before you're 10 years old. You know, put your head under the covers. because you're scared. I
Mm.
heard some sounds. I put my hand under the covers, and I was just sitting there.
I'm built different. I never did that shit.
Fuck off. I don't care.
Continue.
Um, and but I continued to hear that sound.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. And I just sat up. I just sat straight up.
With all the courage in your
Yeah,
tiny
I
little
built
body.
up. I was
Yeah.
like, this is nothing. I sat up and I immediately see from that shadow, because that night light was sitting on an end table on my
Mhm.
left side.
Yeah.
And then on the right side was that closet. I see casting a shadow on that closet was a girl. It was like a silhouette of a girl. And I
Mhm.
was like, oh, that's my sister. She's just playing a prank on me, trying to scare me.
Um.
So then I'm like, I remember I was like, oh, it's my sister. So I turn left. There's fucking nobody there. And I see there's like I feel there's like an like weight at the foot of
Yeah.
the foot of the bed,
Mhm.
and there's those rocks sitting in
Like an indent.
like an indent, like somebody sitting there. There's those fucking rocks.
She pooped out rocks.
No,
Goose poop rocks.
but tell me how a curtain can make the perfect silhouette of a girl
Right.
when the windows are closed. There's no wind,
And
so
make an indent in your bed
yeah, and
with rocks.
it'll get those rocks out of that cabinet.
Yeah.
For the next like 10 years, I kept those rocks in a locked box. They're still there.
Is it that box with the wolves on it? That
Yeah, the cedar box. It's got a
okay.
lock on it.
Interesting.
Yeah, I kept in. It's not super.
I've
It's not
never
like a super, lead lined
no
cast iron box to keep all the ghosts out.
supernatural those rocks.
Right. Put some, some symbols on it.
Yeah.
Keep them out.
Right.
Oh, I found a chest like that. Not really, but I found a chest like that in the attic. It's just a big chest. It's got locks on it,
Mm.
and I was like, I think that's my sister's. And I was like, I try to open it, and it's got one big lock on it. Come on, I'm cleaning it. I want to see what's in this dang chest.
Yeah.
But I'll ask her, hey, what's in the chest? Do you want
Yeah.
it back anyway?
What's
But
in the box?
see, I know you got some ghost stories.
Oh, I got so many ghost stories.
Well, start with one.
I'm trying to think of. I'm trying to think of like I guess we could start by talking about my tall man because I guess he would be my first experience.
Oh,
Remember my tall man?
yeah. Before you get too far in that,
Mhm.
I want to make sure that is mentioned that that same room is the room that I got that metal picture
Yeah.
out of the trim of a girl. And those metal pictures, what she's wearing is like late 1800s.
Mm-hmm.
So that's an old picture.
It's like one of those. It's like one of those. I don't even know how
It's
to
just
describe those pictures.
yeah, it just proves the time, and
Yeah.
it's a physical
It's a metal picture.
and it's a physical object
Mm,
of somebody.
right.
That's
Um.
usually how it plays out, right?
Right.
All right,
Um.
sorry,
No,
continue.
you're fine. So I'll start with my tall man because I've had my tall man my whole life, and I guess you could say he's my first experience. But ever since I could remember, um, at night I would always see this um tall guy, and he was just like a black figure, but he was always wearing a trench coat, and he was taller than a door frame. Like he was a tall guy, and he never said anything. He almost never approached me except for one time. I'm sorry, I'm too afraid to speak too loud.
You're fine.
um, but my mom um thinks he was just like watching over me, but he always scared me because he just never said anything. He just always stood there and watched me. And there was one time
Do you ever think that was an actual person?
I sometimes I wonder who it could have been. But I saw something online, and I don't know how, like, obviously it's like it was online, so like how true could it be? But a lot of other people have experienced a similar man wearing the same thing, and they say that usually children who experience something traumatic in their lives or just have like a rough upbringing will see that man. But that doesn't make any sense for me personally because we moved a lot because we struggled sometimes,
But that
but my
thing moved with you.
but it moved with me everywhere I went.
Mm.
And do you remember when I saw him in our apartment?
No.
I saw him once when we first moved into our apartment.
I thought you haven't seen him since you were, like, 12.
I saw him once when we first moved into
Ah,
our
you
apartment.
never told me
I don't
that.
think I wanted to.
Are you
But
serious?
okay, but back to my last story. So I'll get to that.
You gave me the heebie-jeebies. God
um,
damn it.
but when we first moved to here,
You bring me evil into my life.
he's not
God,
evil. He's just creepy.
you don't know that.
um, when we first moved here, like into the town, um, I was laying in my bed, and my room was this long, big purple room, and everywhere I moved, my bed almost always faced the door. Like you could always see out of the door from the bed. And um the door where my bedroom door was, there was a small hallway and then a door to the outside. And then there was the kitchen and then the dining room. But I was up late because I couldn't fall asleep and I was playing Nintendogs, I think, on my Nintendo. And um I just got this like feeling that somebody was watching me, and I looked up and my tall man was standing in my doorway just
You
staring
claimed
at
him,
me.
my tall
My
man.
my tall He's always, my mom calls him my tall man. She says your tall man when she's talking to me. Um but he was just standing there staring at me, and I remember just being so like spooked by him that like literally I pressed my back against the wall cuz my bed was against the wall. My
Right,
bed's always against a wall.
right.
So my back's pressed against the wall.
Psychopaths don't put their bed against the wall.
I
Put it right in the middle of the room.
know. um,
I
so my,
sleep I
my
sleep with danger on every edge of me.
I think I tried that once, and I was like, this is not the
Fuck
vibes.
that. I'm never trying that. Uh,
We did that in our apartment.
what
Our bed was in the middle of the room
no,
for
I
a
mean,
long
like,
time.
middle. It's not against any wall at
Oh,
all. Middle. Your head is on the edge. You know when
living
you get
on
that
the
feeling
edge.
your feet are too close to the edge? That's the same thing with your
This
head.
is okay. Anyways, um,
Nightmare,
and
nightmare, nightmare.
he not walked, but like glided to right in front of my face. And this is the first and only time he's been close to me.
How
But he
close
was
was that? How close would you say?
right in front of my fucking face.
Well, like, in, like, actual measurement.
Uh
Do you have a measurement, like, an
two
idea?
inches,
2
2 3 inches,
inches?
2 3 inches. He was super fucking close to me.
Did you see anything, like,
He was a
details-wise?
shadow.
Just a
He was
shadow?
just a shadow of like a 6'5" man wearing a trench coat.
I remember I shot some kinda theory to you because you told me you recall once you saw, like, a flash.
This I'll get there.
Okay, I'll
So
let you get
so
there
that
then.
happened, and I remember after he like stood there for a little bit, he went and glided into my closet, which was clear
This
across the
guy's just
fucking
wearing
room.
Heelys, dude.
Shut up.
Swear.
He went into my closet and disappeared, and I ran into my parents' room because I was so spooked. And then I'd had some, run-ins with him after that, nothing like super memorable. But then when we had moved twice, so we've been in this is house. So that was the first house. And then the second house, I don't remember. Like I know I've seen him in that house, but I don't remember him. The third house, when I lived, not lived, but when my bedroom was in the basement, um, I was dead asleep. It's pitch black because it's a fucking basement. So there's like one window and it's across the room. And I shared my bedroom with my dad's music studio. So like it's a long fucking room, and then there's a door. And the door literally splits, like there's a divider, and it's the studio with my dad's drum sets, guitars, the studio spaghetti, everything. And then on my side it's just all my shit. And I'm dead asleep, and a flash awakens me. It's like somebody took a picture of me while I was sleeping, like it was like a Polaroid camera flash.
Right.
And I wake up, and he's fucking standing in my doorway again, just staring at me. And I said out loud, I was like, "Look, I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want from me." I'm like 14 at this time. "I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want, but you've been in my life my entire life since I can remember, and you scare the absolute shit out of me every single time. And you know this. You know you're scaring me. But if you're not intending to scare me and you have something you want to say to me, you have to come to me in my dreams in a physical form. So you cannot scare me. And then I hadn't seen him for a long
It's a
time.
pretty crazy request for something you don't know what it is.
I got that from my mom because I was telling my mom how afraid I was, and she was like, "Well, maybe he doesn't mean like because my mom's a very rational person." She said, um sorry, I lost my words. She said, "Maybe he doesn't mean to scare you.
Right.
Try requesting him to talk to you in some other way." So I did. And I hadn't seen him for a while. But then we moved into our apartment. So this is like 4 years later.
Yeah.
Nope,
No.
5. How old did I turn? I turned 19 after we moved into our
Right.
apartment.
Yeah.
So 4 years later.
Yeah.
Um, and it was just like a brief second that I saw him, but I swear I saw him in the corner of our bedroom when I was going to sleep, and you were in Discord with your friends
Fuck
in the other in the living room.
that.
But he wasn't there for very long. It was just like a flash, and I haven't seen him since.
Well,
So I think he
this
only.
house might bring him back. There's a lot of activity here.
I think
Not a lot, but there's a decent amount.
I think he only comes to me when there's like
Trouble.
change happening. You know what I mean?
It's like Superman.
Um, so there's my tall man. Um, I saw.
Good. Can I shoot my theory that I had?
Yeah, yeah,
You saw that flash,
yeah.
like you almost took a picture of you. I was like, what if you do something interesting or notable in the future, and you're known for it? Your name, you are.
Mm-hmm.
This is somebody that came back from the future to get a photograph or to visit this person.
Don't fucking do that to me, dude. That's gonna
This
make me
person
cry. That's
as a kid.
scary.
Because it's like, what would you be? Would you want to visit somebody that's well known, like this very renowned person, as a kid?
I
Like,
wouldn't take a picture of them while they're
who?
sleeping in their parents' basement.
Maybe who knows how freaky and weird they are.
True, but that's
They
like
might just be like,
he was stalking my whole
I just
life.
want to catch one picture.
But he was stalking me my whole life just to get a picture of
Your
me at
whole life.
14.
They might have just. He might have just. If he's from, if this is a guy from the future, he might have just boop, 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 comes back, boom, there he is, and then goes back. He's not stalking your whole life. He's there momentarily.
That's fair.
You know what I mean?
I don't like that theory though. Can we move on?
No, we're gonna stick right on it.
um
I don't have any more to go on it anyway.
okay, but I
Let's
have
go.
more ghost stories. Um when my grandma and my grandpa were still together, um the house that they lived in, that house always scared the shit out of me. I knew that there was always something lurking in there. Um, and there was one night where I would always fall asleep on the couch with my grandma because they had this giant, cushy L-shaped couch in their living room. Um, and I remember we fell asleep, and I don't know if this was because I don't remember what we were watching, but very frequently her and I would watch like ghost stuff together, like Ghost Adventures. There was a show called like Psychic Kids, and just like shit like that.
Yeah,
So I don't know if this this story was brought on by that or if I genuinely saw what I think I saw. But my grandma was asleep and I was still awake. And I look so the way the living room was it was a living room and then there was like a hallway
yeah,
between the living room and the kitchen. And from where I was on the couch, you could see the start of the hallway, but not down the hallway. Um, and
that's the worst angle to see a
yep,
hallway.
yep, nope. And there was like 4 different rooms that branched off of that hallway, and that hallway also went downstairs.
Too
So
much.
it
Too
was
many
it was
paths.
awful. Um, but I swear so they had a German Shepherd King. You've never met King, but you've heard a lot about
Yeah,
him. And
very big, very
King,
big, very big golden. Sorry, very big German Shepherd.
yeah,
Not slim.
no, he was
Big
like
guy.
he was yeah, but he was pretty much a puppy, but not like a puppy. Um, but I swear I saw him standing at like the very beginning of the hallway, like where it was. just like it was going from the light from the porch outside of the kitchen, coming in through the window to the pitch black of the hallway. And he was right there, I swear. So I go, "Come here, King. Come here, King." And I'm like 7.
Right.
And he doesn't move an inch. And I'm like, "Come on, King, come here." And all of a sudden, here comes King trotting down the hallway to me and sits right next to me. And that fucking phantom dog is still there. And I'm like, "Nope, nope, I hate this. I hate this." Um, and that's that story.
That genuinely gave me a little bit of chills there.
Dude, it was
The idea
awful.
of just some, you know, dog that's not really there, but you can see it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Um,
there's something weird about, like, if it looks like a human shaped, that's one thing. If it looks like an animal,
yeah,
that's another thing.
that's
That
it.
triggers something in your head.
That's either a ghost or a flesh pedestrian.
That triggers something in your
Yeah.
brain that's like, you know,
Yeah.
it's like how kids are naturally afraid of things that look like people, but
Mhm.
they're not.
Yeah.
They're naturally afraid, like they're born naturally afraid of stuff like that.
Right.
Why is that?
We at one point had a predator. Anyways, um in the same house where my tall man took my picture. Um
Future man.
my family referred to we had a ghost that we just called my entire family. We just called him Mr. Mischief because occasionally like you'd just be sitting there like regardless of you were inside or outside, you'd be sitting there and you just hear a knock 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 on the sliding glass window. He would just move shit around. He would flush the toilet. He would
Poltergeist.
he would move the toilet up and down. He was just like he wasn't a problem. He was just he was just mischievous.
Stacked all the furniture in the kitchen.
He would
Started
just
moving all the cabinet doors.
uh-huh. But he was just, just moving like keys and stuff, like just causing trouble. Um but when we got
God.
Chloe really liked Mr. Mischief. She
Chlo-
would bark at him
Chloe's
all
a black lab.
yeah. And we got her when she was like 5. Um
It is very important to have animals because
yes.
if, especially getting a new house, if you bring an animal into that house, if you're thinking about getting it and they act all strange and they're just trying to get out of the house, eh,
Yeah.
listen to the animal.
Yep.
Yeah, something might be there.
It goes for the same for living people too. Like animals know when a person's a good person.
I wouldn't trust that much, but
No, but you
you
know
know,
what I mean? But anyway, so Chloe loved Mr. Mischief. Like she would sit for him at random ass times. She would look at nothing and just sit down and wag her tail. She would bark at absolutely nothing. It was weird. So that's Mr. Mischief. But my when my parents were still together, my dad had my great his grandpa's watch in a fireproof safe, and it was broken, did not work. Um, but sometimes you would hear the watch just start ticking
inside the fireproof safe.
inside the fireproof safe.
How loud is that watch?
It was broken.
Well,
It,
it was a wristwatch.
yeah,
How loud do those tick?
it wasn't like loud, but it was like you could hear it and
Yeah.
you could pinpoint where it was coming from.
Also, like if the room's silent, you
Yeah.
can kind of hear this ticking.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Sometimes you could smell my dad's grandma's perfume occasionally.
Smells. That's a big
Yep.
thing. That's a big one. That happens a
Um
lot.
oh, Mr. Mischief also liked messing with my dad. So my dad worked the third shift. So um he would be sleeping during the day. And from where my parents' bed was, you could see the hallway light. So Mr. Mischief would flick the light on and off while my dad was sleeping.
Just all wasn't your little brother.
No, because my brother was at school. Everyone was out of the house.
All right. Vent goblin.
Yeah. Um,
Starting with them.
I'm trying to think. Um, I guess the most recent one, and this is a story I love telling. I actually submitted it to a different podcast for a story.
Really?
Yeah. Um, do you remember? Shut up. Do you remember
Four
when we
ums.
were repainting our bedroom that we're in right now.
Yeah. Don't tell me.
So, no, listen. I was
Ah,
downstairs with Jay and I was watching Family Feud because it's just what was on the TV and I was making sloppy joes. And I had her on that ottoman thing in the middle of the room cuz I had just changed her diaper.
right.
And um I was playing with her cuz she wasn't crawling, wasn't lifting her head up yet, and I was just playing with her. Um and I swear I saw like a dark figure move
Corner of your eye.
from your out of the corner of my
Peripheral.
eye, move from your parents' bedroom through the living room, the front room, like it was going into the bathroom. And I kind of shrugged it off at first. But then you came down and I was cleaning up and you go, I think I saw my mom. And I was like, what? And we hadn't talked to each other until this point because he was painting and I was taking care of the
I
baby.
was in a separate room. I was in
He
this.
was
I was
upstairs.
upstairs.
Yeah. So it's very important to note that we had not said anything to each other. And I go, what? And you say, I was painting, and out of the corner of my eye, I thought I saw something standing there watching
Yeah,
me.
because I was playing my mom's favorite music.
He was playing funk. So he said, what do you think of this color, Mom? And it disappeared, right?
Well, like I saw it in the corner of my eye,
Yeah.
and I'm like, in the back of my head, I was like, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm fixing upstairs, and she was always so excited about getting that
Yep.
the rooms painted, and I had funk playing.
Mm-hmm.
I had funk and Marshall Tucker Band
Yep.
playing, and I was like, all right. And I just asked her, what do you think of this color? I think it's pretty good.
So I think we both saw your mom that night
Like, and I
because
haven't, and know what's funny? I haven't seen anything on my peripheral like that in a while.
nope.
But for like 3 times, separate times, I kept seeing things on my peripheral, like a
Yeah.
black, just a shadow.
Right.
And you go to look at it, it's gone.
Yep.
But it's like somebody's right there.
Yep.
You see it on the corner eye,
You
like
know.
somebody's right there.
Yep.
But you look, it's gone. And I remember, it's funny. I remember my mom had her own things that happened to her in the same house.
Yeah.
Like she was showering once in the upstairs bathroom, and the light switch is linked to it's linked to the
Yeah.
outlets.
It's
And
connected. So like
yeah,
if the light switch isn't on, the outlet doesn't work. I have to keep reminding myself of that because I'll plug something in thinking it will work and then I'll turn the light
nope,
off and it doesn't
it doesn't work.
work.
That's a very important
Yes.
point. I remember her coming downstairs and said, "Holy shit, you wouldn't believe what happened to me while I was taking a shower." She was showering because there was always and this was before like streaming or anything. This was like
Yeah.
2000. I mean, at least before streaming hit our household.
Yeah.
This was like 2008, 9, maybe. Um, so the light went out and she's showering, but the radio's still playing.
Hmm.
And then you're like, oh, the bulb might have went out. Came right back on. Came back on after like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And multiple times, me and my mom would smell cigarette smoke,
Oh.
like the distinct cigarette smoke.
Yeah.
So sometimes we would think is
Cigarette smoke, you cannot.
you can't just come, and nobody in our house smokes.
Right.
Nobody in our house smokes at all.
Nope.
No, so we don't even have reminiscent smoke like cigarette smoke on our clothes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's completely out of the blue.
Yeah.
And so we thought that was a sign of our. Oh, we thought that was a sign. Sorry,
You
fuck.
spooked
Yeah,
me.
I got a message. So we thought that was my grandma, my
Mm-hmm.
dad's mom, because she smoked all the time.
Yeah.
And that was her thing, She just, I didn't go on inside and need a cigarette.
I
But
wish I could have met your dad's mom.
God, I wish I would have grown up with her more. I wish she didn't go as early as she did.
Yeah.
But like everybody always everybody's got their problems.
Right.
And I'll get into it, but like I'll get into it at some point. But I've heard a decent amount of stories, but because my dad had another brother, and after they lost, and that brother was the oldest. No, no,
No, I was gonna say.
second oldest. And after they lost him in a car accident, uh, she she was just different. Never
Right.
came out of it.
Well, yeah, after you
And
lose a kid, I can't
right, it
imagine,
doesn't even matter
especially when
which
your
one.
kid's an
It
adult.
doesn't. Yeah. Well,
Because
was it? I can't remember if he was a full adult or I think he might have been still in school. No, no, he was out of school. He was
I was gonna say,
graduated.
I thought he was out of
He's
school.
great. Yeah. Sorry. Again, I haven't heard a lot of stories about it, but I haven't, and I haven't heard them in a while.
Yeah.
So a lot of it's kind of rusty from like when I was like 13 hearing
Yeah.
about it. But yeah, I never met him. I wish I was able to. He was like the funniest out of all of the whole family. But what was I getting to? Um, Same thing with my sister experiencing something in this house. She was downstairs in the living room. I'm sorry, I'm stealing everybody's ghost stories. I mean, like
We're just talking about ghost
my
stories.
mom's not here to explain them anymore. She's giving me some ghost stories
She's like
now.
whispering in your ear. Tell this one.
Yeah, right. Um, but with my sister, she was in the living room
Mm.
and she 100% no doubt heard my mom yell her name.
That is a dangerous thing to respond to because you don't know what's calling
I just
for
got the
you.
chills, man.
So, like,
Um,
if you, it,
well,
and this
hold on,
is,
hold on,
it's a
hold on,
dangerous
hold on.
game to hold.
Can
It's a
I finish
dangerous,
the thought?
yeah,
Okay, or not thought, but the
the
event.
story.
So she went to the kitchen, mm, saying, "Mom," oh, goes outside. My mom's hanging clothes on the clothesline about what would you call that distance? 100 feet,
Yeah.
100 feet away from the house. She heard her in the kitchen a minute ago.
Hmm. That's a dangerous thing to respond to because, like I said, you don't know what's calling for you.
How
But
much energy
if
does it take to make a sound like to make a
a
normal
lot,
normal like saying somebody's name
yeah,
loudly?
yeah. Um, which is why, like, if you are by yourself, 100% you're by yourself, and somebody calls out for you, do not
Fucking
answer it.
don't do that.
Do not
Don't.
go investigate because something's gonna fucking get you.
They might not get you, but you might get like once you realize nobody's there, you might get scared, and then they'll just feed off that.
That's what I mean.
Oh, I'm getting chills. I literally
Yeah,
look
I
at
almost
this.
started crying.
Start crying. I'm just getting chills, man. Ah, this stuff gives me chills. But I got one other one. I
Yep.
got one more. I think it's one more. So there's a couple houses down the road. That house is for sale, and it was for sale for a while.
Mm.
There's nobody living in there, but every once in a while, the light on the very top of the window, in the very top of the house, the light would be on.
Hmm.
Nobody's living there. Nobody's been living there for
Yeah.
months.
They weren't like doing work on it
Nope.
or anything.
No,
Hmm.
it's vacant. 100% vacant.
Interesting.
And there's no vehicles in the driveway. Nothing. But that light was on,
Yeah.
and it'd be off. It'd be off for another month. Every time I go by it, not me. Sorry. This was the story that I heard from my dad. But every time you
Oh.
go by it, that light would be off. Nothing.
Yeah.
But everyone's and then one time that light's on.
Hmm.
No definite like, oh my god, that's a ghost. No
Right.
definite because very much so there could have just been somebody working on it. And
Right.
then the person's like, hey, I gotta run to the store. So there's no car.
Yeah.
And but you know, you never know.
Right.
Things are
I don't know.
creepy.
I like ghosty stuff. I like creepy, spooky
Right.
stuff.
It makes the world more interesting.
Mm-hmm.
If the world's there's no ghosts at all, there's nothing when there's nothing at all. There's nothing extraordinary.
Yeah.
It's like then your life is just ordinary. It's
Right.
just boring, you
Every
know?
time you move your feet on your chair, I think it's the baby
I'm
monitor.
sorry.
You're really psyching me out.
I'm sorry.
Also, yeah, if you hear like a in the background,
You won't
it's a
hear it.
baby
Yeah,
monitor.
you won't hear
I'm
it.
just saying, just in case.
Yeah, because we're doing this on the very small amount of time that we got, which we're actually getting a good amount of time in,
We
which is
are.
pretty cool. I don't know if that's real wood. That's real wood. Sorry. Yeah,
I'm gonna say it
it
is.
works. It'll work. Um, One thing I didn't mention I also did today, which I did a lot more than I was expecting to be able to. I didn't expect to finish cleaning that attic. No, one thing. Sorry to jump this again. One thing that I did happen in the attic, like I didn't have the vacuum on, nothing, but I did hear a sound. I just heard, and it very much well could have been something shifting because I was moving boxes and stuff,
Yeah.
and those boxes are some of them are plastic, some of them are cardboard, and there's we got a lot of stuff in them. They something very much well could have been something shifting in them, but I heard a sound, and I was like, okay, you know what? I stopped and I just go because we've had multiple things happen in this house.
Right.
So I'm not surprised if something's moving in a room that's not been moving for a long time.
Right. Well, especially if you're moving stuff that's upsetting something,
That
if
and
there's energy attached to it.
chills, you got me chills going.
Sorry.
When you say like upsetting something, I get chills because just get
I
the
just know all the right I know all the right creepy
heebie-jeebies.
words to say.
But
I watch
well,
Ghost Adventures.
yeah, Aaron going
Aaron
to
going get out of my head.
get out of my
Get the
head.
fuck out of my head.
But both just poor Aaron, man.
He's my favorite.
Aaron, go in that room. We're gonna go in the nerve center. Aaron, go in that room by yourself.
Nerd.
Nerve.
Man, that makes me want to watch that series again.
But so I stopped and I was like, okay. I said, I want to make this clear.
Mm.
I'm not getting rid of anything.
Yeah.
I'm not throwing anything away. I'm not moving anything out of this
I
room.
don't have malicious intent at
I'm just
all. I'm
moving it.
just cleaning.
I just said I'm moving it on the other side of the room and I'm cleaning up all the dust.
Yep. Good.
So I'm not getting rid of anything out of this room.
Yep.
So if anything's in here,
It's
I'm
staying
not.
here.
uh, It's staying here.
Yeah.
And I didn't. No, of course, I didn't hear anything since after that. But you
It's better to be safe than sorry.
know,
Like, if you're a believer of ghosts, it's always better to be safe than sorry and make sure that your intentions are clear when you're renovating a house,
oh,
building on
absolutely,
land, whatever. If you're upsetting something, you
right.
have to be clear about what your intentions are. Otherwise, you're going to fuck
I'm
some shit
surprised.
up.
I haven't heard something come out of that baby monitor from it being
You
static.
you shut the fuck up.
Did I
That
give?
is our child in there, and I will not be fucking
No,
around.
no. I mean, like, because you know that frequency right there. It's static.
That's what I mean. If I hear anything come out of that baby monitor that's not the TV or our child, I'm not even saying anything. I'm getting up and I'm going in there and I'm taking her out of that room.
Right.
I don't fuck around when it comes to that shit.
You got me all paranoid.
I didn't sage on the last full moon. Listen.
Oh, great. Thanks.
I've been too afraid to sage.
Really?
Um
Really?
because I'm too afraid of getting rid of your mom.
Oh,
And I've told Jamie that and Jamie, your sister, was like, "Well, just be clear about, you don't want to get rid of the positive energy, just the bad stuff." And I'm like, "I know, but like, still, like, it's just something I'm like, I don't want to fuck it up because
right.
there's no
Does that
bad
get rid of
energy
all
here.
of it,
I don't
or
think
just
so.
bad?
I think you have to be again clear of your intentions.
Right.
Um, but I would rather be safe than sorry. And it's not like there's bad energy in here.
I mean,
There
you could
never
probably
has
try to let
been.
her know, hey, I'm gonna do this, but it's only to get rid of bad stuff.
Yeah.
So if this might affect you at all, just
Yeah.
leave, or just like move somewhere else momentarily.
Right.
Because
I've
if
also been waiting until it gets warmer outside because you're supposed to open
you're supposed to open up all the
all of your
windows.
doors and all of your windows. That way, the bad energy can safely
Remember when you were doing
leave.
that once? And again, windows are open, so stuff, you can always be moving. But you were doing that once, and it was when I was in an apartment, and something fell.
No, one of the doors slammed shut.
Was there windy at all?
No, one of
Oh.
the doors fucking slammed shut.
Was I here? Was I home at all,
No,
or were
you
you
were
not?
at work, but I got scared and I had to call. There was a few times where I was at the apartment by myself and I called you because I was scared. Remember when the wind knocked the screen out of the window and I got scared because I thought somebody was in the apartment
Oh,
and I called you
yeah.
because I was scared and I was like, if something's going to happen to me, this is another thing. If you are afraid, don't just get on your phone. Call somebody, that way you can look and be aware of your surroundings. But then if something does happen to you, there's somebody that can hear that happen to you. I always call you or Stevie or my mom if I'm afraid and I'm out in public by myself. That way, if somebody tries to take me or somebody starts harassing me, there's
Right.
somebody on the other end that knows and I'm not just missing.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know something bad happened.
Yeah. Very important tip
Yeah.
for that. There's one thing I did. Yeah, this is a jump topic right at the end here. But the one thing I didn't cover what I did today. Sorry, we're all back. We're back to what we did today.
Full circle.
because I got a lot more than I thought I would be able to get done. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, if I can get one more thing done off my checklist, that'd be amazing. So I was able to get the oil change my bike, and very quick, because I
Yeah.
recently just did like I replaced the clutch, and I put new oil in it, but I put the old filter back on it
Yeah.
just because, in case there's any kind of slight or small little shavings that might have came off anything from changing off the clutch. It can go into the old filter, and then I drove for like 100 miles,
Right.
and then put a new filter on, and put the good oil in it. You know, I had some kind of lower grade oil, then I put some good oil in it, and that's the stuff that's gonna stay in it all season.
Yeah.
But so now that thing's all set, and I did the attic and the bike
There you
all
go.
today, and you know I didn't get enough jaquetta time today, but I'll be able to get some a little bit tomorrow before she goes to grandma's house.
Well,
Uh,
if we're picking up the car, she's not just going to grandma's house, she's going to my cousin.
Oh, is she?
So she'd be going to my cousin and then to my mom.
Okay, okay.
So we get
Because
mega us time tomorrow.
mega, mega us
Mega Will
will
Ferrell.
mega Will Ferrell. Thank you, Ron Perlman.
Yeah. Yeah, and I had something to say. Oh, we stuck to a full topic this time.
We did. Look at
We
that.
didn't
We're
waver one
improving.
time. High five.
Yeah.
Hells yeah.
Hell yeah. Ooh yeah.
Oh yeah. My Kool-Aid man, you papa meated. Nope.
Uh,
You papa meated.
yeah, you just stop while you're ahead. Don't dig yourself a hole. Get rid of the
Uh,
shovel.
yeah.
Well, I think we covered that.
Yeah, I'm ready for bed.
Ready for bed?
I'm ready for bed.
All
And I
right.
would like to check on our child to make sure she's still breathing.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm starting to get a little bit paranoid about that as
Yeah.
well. We got the monitor going, but we're talking about ghosts
She's
and
sleeping pretty good though.
you know,
I got her on her belly, so
yeah. Yeah, there wasn't a lot of laughs. There wasn't a lot of anger in this one. It was just pretty chill. Talking about
there
ghosts.
will be next time.
There will be next time. I got them on my list.
Yeah, you
There's a
do.
lot of stuff I'm frustrated about because this is called Hell's Popsicle for a reason. Because sometimes it's cool and sometimes I'm fucking pissed.
We started you out with the cool, and now
I
we're
haven't
just
been
gonna.
pissed yet, really, in any of these.
No, you haven't.
I haven't been
And
frustrated, but it's coming. I promise. It's all building.
when I talk to my dad, we'll talk about that. You'll
Oh
hear
yeah,
me
bring that
pissed
fucking shit up too.
after I talk to him.
All right. I mean, we can bring up what has led to now at some point.
That'll be our next one.
The next one.
Yeah, I'm
All
okay
right.
with talking about it then.
We want a full story.
Or we can wait till after I talk to him.
Do we want full story, no cliffhanger?
Yeah, we'll do that.
All right. We'll do that. So
All right, you
the
guys
anger's
have a good night.
the anger's coming, and it's gonna be entertaining for all.
Yep.
Yeah.